In the kingdom of Arundel, in the year 1387, castles rose above cobblestone villages, banners of nobility fluttered in the wind, and the people lived under the weight of power and tradition. Among the noble houses, one figure stood apart. Isabella, daughter of Duke Reynard, admired for her beauty, her grace, and her noble birth. Yet behind her smile lay a quiet yearning, a longing for freedom, for a life where her heart could choose its own path. In the same kingdom lived Thomas, a knight of humble birth. He owned no lands, no riches, no titles. Only his sword, his courage, and a heart that burned fiercely for the woman he was sworn to protect. They met in the castle gardens, at first only by chance. A word exchanged, a glance that lingered longer than it should, the brief brush of hands when he bowed before her. And what began as accident soon became necessity. Underneath the ivy-covered bridge, where the river roared to drown their whispers, their secret love grew. There, away from the eyes of nobles and kings, Isabella and Thomas vowed eternal devotion. No crown, no law, no distance would tear them apart. They swore it beneath the stars, binding themselves with promises stronger than any chain. But love in a world of power is fragile. When Isabella came of age, her father, Duke Reynard, announced her betrothal to Prince Edward of Valmere. The marriage was not for love, but for power, a union to strengthen armies and secure peace. Isabella pleaded for her heart, but her tears could not move a man who saw his daughter as nothing more than a key to alliances. That night, rain fell in sheets as Isabella fled to the bridge. Thomas was already there, waiting. She begged him to flee with her, to leave everything behind. Her voice trembled with desperation. But Thomas, bound by honor, could not. To steal her from a prince's hand would mean treason, war, and death for thousands. With his heart breaking, he let her go. The promise shattered with silence. The wedding followed. Golden chandeliers lit the grand cathedral. Nobles filled the halls. Prince Edward stood proud, not with love in his eyes, but with triumph. Isabella's veil trembled with each breath, her lips quivering as she spoke the words that bound her. She became his queen, but not his partner. Years passed. Edward was cold, proud, and cruel. Isabella lived in halls of stone, dressed in silks, adorned in jewels, but trapped in loneliness. Each night, she looked from her tower window and whispered into the silence, wondering if Thomas still lived, if he still remembered. Far from Arundel, Thomas carried her memory across foreign battlefields. He fought beneath banners not his own, seeking death, but finding only survival. Each scar, each wound, each night by the campfire was haunted by the face he had lost. He had chosen duty over love, and he carried that regret heavier than his armor. But fate is not blind. A great plague swept across the kingdoms. Villages burned, church bells tolled endlessly, and fear ruled the land. Even within the palace walls, death came quietly. Prince Edward, struck with fever, wasted away on his golden bed. Isabella, bound by duty, stood at his side. Yet when his breath faltered and his crown fell, her tears were not for him, but for the years stolen by chains of politics and duty. For the first time in years she was free. And then, Thomas returned. Scarred by war, weary from wandering, he entered Arundel once more. The people whispered his name, and when Isabella heard it, her heart leapt as though time itself had broken. In the castle courtyard they met again. First disbelief, then tears, then anger for the years lost. Isabella wept, asking where he had been when she had needed him most. Thomas confessed that he had chosen honor, and he had regretted it every day since. Their voices trembled, their hearts raged, but when their hands touched once more, the years melted away. The love was still there, scarred but unbroken. Yet the court did not remain silent. A queen, widow of a prince, now standing beside a knight of no title. Whispers turned to outrage. Nobles declared it scandal. Some called it betrayal. But Isabella no longer bowed to their chains. In the great court of Arundel, before the lords and ladies of the realm, Isabella stood with Thomas at her side. Her voice rang clear, steady, unafraid. She declared that crowns and titles had no power over her heart. That this man, once dismissed as nothing, was worth more than all the gold and banners of the realm. He had her love, and no noble decree would ever take it. Silence fell upon the court. None dared defy her. And so, Isabella and Thomas walked together through the same halls where once they had whispered in secret. No longer shadows in the night. No longer a love bound in silence. Thomas, weary but unbroken, confessed that he had feared their promise was lost forever. Isabella smiled through her tears, telling him that it had never been broken, only waiting for its time to return. As the sun set over Arundel, the people sang not of politics, not of war, not of crowns, but of love. A love scarred by betrayal, strengthened by loss, and reborn in the daylight. The broken promise had become whole again. And as Isabella looked into Thomas's eyes, she knew that nothing, not crowns, not kingdoms, not even time itself, would ever part them again. And so, dear listener, the tale of Isabella and Thomas comes to an end. A story of two souls torn apart by duty, yet bound together by love stronger than kingdoms, stronger than crowns, stronger than time itself. Their promise, once broken, lived again. And in their love we see the truth, that no power, no law, no throne can silence the heart. If you have walked this journey with us, through sorrow, through exile, through loss and reunion, then you have carried the weight of their love too. For some promises, though tested by fate, are never truly broken. They endure, waiting for the moment to rise again. This was the broken promise. A story of love. A story of sacrifice. A story that reminds us all that love is worth fighting for. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, share it, leave your thoughts below, and join us for more echoes of history, more forgotten loves, more tales that defy time. Until we meet again, remember, promises may break, but love endures forever.